Let us think like this. See, I have a small organization. So the name of the organization is say some kind of, okay, some kind of, let us take like, let me take the organization. I'll give my digital organization. Digital organization. I have, in this I have two, under this I have two groups actually. So one related to digital health and another related to digital insurance. Another related to digital insurance. Now under you are able to hear me? I have projects like, now you are able to hear me? Yeah. So under digital health, you have projects like some kind of, one project I have like, okay, like kind of patient app. Another project I have hospital app, hospitals app. Hospitals app. And in this digital insurance, I have one project related to some kind of health insurance, something like this. Okay. Now, so for example, now these are your Java projects. Okay, this is one Java project. So this is one Java project. So this is another Java project. So this is another Java project. Okay, these are your Java projects. Okay. So if I want to build these as Java projects, I have to create a Maven project for all this. Now, for this, let us create a Maven project. So when we create a Maven project for this, so Maven project, what is a group ID? So group ID I'll give as digital health. What is artifact ID? Artifact ID I'll give as patient app. And what is the version? See, initially I can use the version as we have seen, right? Initially the version can be just 1 minute. I'll just open the Eclipse. I'm just opening it. Now, initially the version can be 0.0. snapshot. What this means it is still under development. So this version indicates this version is a initial version, initial development version. Okay. So first we'll have this version. Next. Okay, see when Maven creates, it will give this version. After that, you can change it. So you can change here. If I don't want to use this version, you want to use your own version number, you can use 1.0. Okay, like that you can use. Okay. Now, similarly, now for this, what is the, so for this is also a Java project, right? So for this, also I'll create a Maven project. So in this, what is a group ID? So group ID is digital health. Artifact ID is hospitals app. And version also I can give some, I can give 1.0 or anything. Okay, that is yours. Next, for this, what is a Maven project? I have to create. What is a group ID? So group ID is digital insurance. Next, artifact ID is health insurance. And version I'll give as, say I can give 1.1 or 1.0 or something else. Now you see, these two applications, these two projects are having same group, digital health and digital health, because these two falls under this group. So this is your group ID. And this project group ID is, this project group ID is different, digital insurance. Okay, so digital insurance, artifact IDs, and artifact is your project. So under project, now you start with version. So this is your version 1.0. Okay, this is this version, so 0.0.1 snapshot. Now tomorrow, when you actually do some changes to this project, when you do some changes to this project, you add some new files, you add some new code, depending on your requirement. So it will be a new project again. So on the group, see, it will be new project. So it will be the same group ID, same artifact ID, only the version will be different. So you'll create one more project. So one more project with the version, say, one more project with the version, say 1.0. Let us take like this. Now, so for this, you will create separate Maven project. So for that, your group ID will be still digital health. Your group ID will be still digital health, and your artifact ID is patient app, and version is 1.0. Okay, now this is one project. This is one project and this one project. But if you see the difference between these two projects, so this is this with this version and this with this version. So two different code bases. This is one set of code base. This is another set of code. The difference is you will have some new files, new changes in this project. So this is what group ID, artifact ID, and version. Artifact ID represents your project, group ID represents your project group, and version represents the version of the project. Everyone clear on this? No. Everyone clear on the group, project, and version? So now once you have this group ID, artifact ID, version in pom.xml, Okay. Then you have one more thing called packaging. So this packaging is like how this project has to be bundled. Okay. So for example, you have a project. So you have a Maven project. So under this project, so there are multiple Java files. Okay, under this project, multiple Java files are there. So these are your Java files. Okay. Now all these Java files, okay, and these files contains your test unit test files, everything. All these Java files have to be bundled. So after compilation, Maven does compilation of all these files. Compilation of all these files and bundles into one jar file. Into one jar file. Okay, into one jar file. So there is one more option also. It can also bundle into one war file also. Okay, one war file. Okay, it can bundle into one war file also. So the difference is war file is like your web application. This war file is used for web applications. Is used for web applications. Okay. And packaging, there is one more. See, one is jar file. See, packaging is of three different types. One jar. Okay, we can have one jar. Jar is one option. There is one more option called var. So there is one more option called POM actually. I'll tell you what is this POM. Just wait for for some time. I mean, just for a couple of sessions. Then I'll tell you what is this POM. Okay, this were so we can have packaging as POM. Jar means it's a Java archive file. Var means web application archive file. So jar means Java archive file. Jar means it is a Java archive file. And var means web application archive file. Okay. So this is used for your web applications. Like if you have this kind of JSPs or all that web application, okay, related, where you can copy that your web server or application server. So your var will be having. And one more is a POM actually. I'll tell you what is this, okay? Just wait for a couple of sessions, okay? What is this? Okay, so that is packaging. Now coming to the important section of POM.xml is this section. So whenever we create a Maven project in POM.xml, we get this group ID, artifact ID, version, and all that. Now coming to the important section, which is called this dependencies section. Okay, today I'll explain this one. So okay. As I told you yesterday, Maven downloads the required dependencies specified in POM.xml, compiles the .java files, and compiles the .java files to .class files, and are packaged in a jar or war file. This is what. See, if you see this statement, Maven downloads the required dependencies specified in POM.exe. Okay. As I told you, if there is no Maven, and if you are building a project, and it uses these third-party libraries, these are all your third-party libraries, your MySQL, MOCKITO, JUnit. These are all your third-party libraries. Okay, these are your third-party libraries. And if you want to download separately, it is very difficult task for you. You have to download so many jars related to this JUnit, so many jars related to MOCKITO, MySQL, and you have to set in your project class path. Instead of that, if you specify in the dependency section, so what do you mean by you are specifying this means? See, this is nothing but in pom.xml. So in pom.xml, we specify dependencies. So what do you mean by this? What do you mean by this? What is this? Okay, say dependencies are again a Maven or again third-party Maven projects. Third-party Maven projects where we can use these projects in our project by specifying in dependency section in pom.xml. Just see this. Just see this. So Maven, what it will do is, so what are dependencies? Dependencies are again third-party Maven projects. Okay. So what there is, for example, JUnit. If you see this is a Maven project, see how we can tell this is a Maven project. See, it is having a group ID, artifact ID, version. So the group ID is this one. The artifact ID is JUnit Jupyter, and the version is 5.7. I'll tell you what is this scope. Just wait for some time. Okay, first I'll tell you what is scope. Just concentrate on group ID, artifact ID, version. Now, so that means, say, for example, you can think like this. Say you developed one project. Okay. For example, you developed a project, a Maven project. You developed a Maven project. With group ID. So you developed a Maven project for calculating income tax. Very simple. You developed a Maven project for calculating income tax. So the group ID of this Maven project is the group ID. I'll just tell it. Okay, income tax. The artifact ID is tax calculator. That is a project. This is the project name, tax calculator. And version is initial version 1.0. So this is the Maven project that you created. And under this project, there will be .java files where you'll write the logic for calculating income tax, all that. Now you want to make other projects also to use this. Okay. So even now this is the project you developed. And now some other person X wants to use wants to use your project. Okay, some other person X wants to use your project. So what he has to do is, so this also is his own Maven project. So he wants to use your project to get to for the calculating of income tax. Okay, so he don't want to write again that logic. He wants to use your project. So for that, here in this form.xml, in this project form.xml, you specify in the dependency section, dependency, and here I'll say group ID. You'll specify group ID as income tax. Okay, you'll specify artifact ID as tax calculator. Tax calculator and version as 1.0. That's all. Now you can think like this. Now your project, person X wants to use your project. In project.form.xml, he's using. That means what is happening is it is like importing this into your project. Importing this third party. Yours is a third party. You can consider your whatever you developed is a third party project, and it is being used by multiple projects. So it is as like importing this project. Importing this project. Now, similarly, you can think like this also. Now, see, here you specified in the dependency section, the group ID as this income tax and artifact as tax calculator, version as this, and you specified this so that this project, person X project, will download this project. From where it will download, I'll tell you all this. Will download this project and put in your class bar. You can think like now similarly, now, your project needs some third-party related libraries like JUNIT, MOCKITO, MySQL. Okay. Now, what you have to specify in your dependency section, the group ID of the JUnit Jupyter, the artifact ID, what version you need to use. Similarly for MOCKITO also, this is the group ID. Under this, you need to use MOCKITO 4. Similarly, and this is the version. Similarly, under the same group, we need to use another library, another project, MOCKITO JUnit Jupyter, and the version. Okay. Similarly, for MySQL, you'll use the group ID MySQL. Next, this is the artifact ID. So these are all the Maven projects where someone has developed. So a JUnit team has developed this project so that you can use that project in your, so that you can use that library in your project. Okay. You can use that project. I'll tell you the scope. Just wait for some time. I'll tell you what is scope and all. So there is a separate chapter which I'm going to tell you. So in this actually, some team like JUnit team, they have developed that project and gave, and so you are using that project. Some other team like MOCKITO has developed, you are using this. Some other team like MySQL has developed that Maven project and you are using this. You are importing that in your project. Now when you specify like this, what happens now? See what happens is, let me now be clear. Now this is your dependencies you specified. So when you specify like this, Maven will first try to see whether these projects, okay, what are these projects? These projects are nothing but your jar files only, right? Jars only. Ultimately, these Maven projects are packaged into jars, okay? Whether these jars are present in your local system. Say you have set up this Maven project in your local system. Okay, you have set up this project. You have set up this project in your local system. You have set up this project in your local system. So what Maven will do is, Maven will first try to see whether these jars are present in your local system. What do you mean by local system is, see, when you set up Maven, right? So Maven first, I'll show you. See, Maven will be having in your user's profile, your username in .m2 folder, there will be a repository created, and here all your third-party libraries, because I'm using so many Maven projects, so all these third-party libraries will be present here. So first it will try to see in this path, in the local path, in your C drive, wherever you have installed the Maven in your C drive, like users and your username. You will have some username created in .m2 folder. Under .m2 folder, you have repository. Under repository, it will try to see whether these libraries are present. See, ultimately these are libraries only, jar files, because a Maven project will be finally packaged to a jar file only, right? Okay, so these are the jar files. So it will try to see whether they are present here. Okay, first it will set. Okay, so first what it will do? First it will search in this path. First Maven will try to see in your local system, in your system, whether the libraries are there, whether the libraries are present. Which libraries? The libraries that you specified in the dependency section. First it will check for this. Now, if present, so if present, what will happen now? So what will happen now if present? If present, it will download, it will copy those libraries. It will copy those libraries, and it will copy those libraries and put in your project class path. It will copy those libraries and put in your project class path. Okay, so this is what actually. Okay, it will copy those libraries and put in your project class path. Now you see, for example, let me see whether this org JUnit Jupyter is there in my project class path. Yeah, in my local system. Let me check this. Let me go to org. Yes, org. Next is JUnit, org.JUnit. JUnit. Yes. Next is Jupyter. Yes, Jupyter. In that now JUnit-Jupyter. Now see, JUnit J-Jupyter. This is the project. And in that, what is the version? 5.7. Go to your 5.7.0. And these are your jar files. So all these are your jar files. And these will be set up added in your class path. Okay, these are your jar files. Jar, and I told you that packaging, there are 3 different ways. Jar, POM, and WAR. Okay, I'll tell you what is POM. So these are your files, your libraries. Okay, suppose in case if they are not present. Say first time you are setting up I got these projects because already I'm using this Maven projects in my local system from many years. Okay, suppose in case if they are not present, the libraries are not present in local system, in your system. So what Maven will do is, so then Maven will connect to the internet. Maven will connect to internet or connect through internet. That means that's why you should have internet always on through internet and connect to Maven central repository. Okay, and connect to Maven central repo. So your Maven central repo is this one. Maven central repository. See, this is your Maven central repository. Here you will have all the jars, all the third-party jars required for your all projects. Every jar is available here. Every jar. So all the third parties, see whatever jars you need for logging, JSON, web frameworks, configurations, Android platform, JDBC drivers, concurrency libraries, all the jars. This is a central repository of all the jars. So Maven repository. So Maven repository is a central repository. That contains all the third-party libraries required. Okay, now what Maven will do is it will download this library, JUnit library, MOCKITO library, MySQL library, all these four. So it will download whichever is specified in the. So Maven will connect through internet and connect to Maven central repo. Then Maven, what it will do is, then Maven will download all these libraries specified in form.xml from Maven central repository, to your local system. Where it will download? To your local system. Okay. So Maven will download. So Maven will download all these libraries. So Maven will download all these libraries specified in form.xml from Maven central repo to load. So to your local system means to which path? This path. To this path. So it will download to this path. It will download to this path. Okay, it will download to this path. Okay, it will download all these libraries specific from to your local system, and also it will. See, let me. And also add these libraries. In the project class path. Now you see. Now next time I build this another Maven project with these libraries. Second Maven project with these libraries. Now it will follow the same. Now in form.xml, I'll put all these dependencies. Now first Maven will try to see in your system whether the libraries are present. Now this time it will be present because the libraries, whenever it is downloading from the central repo, it has copied to this path and then it has added to your library path. Now next time when you create a second Maven project with the same libraries, with the same dependencies, it will copy directly from your project class path. Suppose you delete this. Suppose in case you delete that folder from your system. So what will happen now? It will not find this in your project class path. Then it will go here. It will connect to the internet. and connect to Maven central repo, and it will download all the libraries. This is how the flow works. So it will download these libraries and add to your local system. See, if you see this, how I got all these to my path, these have been downloaded from central repository only when I was doing for first time. So that's why these are there here already. Now, next time when I create this another Maven project with same dependencies, it will get from here only if it is there here. And Maven no need to specify the link. What automatically will connect. Automatically will connect to the Maven central repository. Here, if you see, I did not specify anywhere the link. You see, if you see anywhere, I have this is the group ID, artifact ID. This is one. Okay, this is just a properties. And here, see, just this is dependency. I did not specify any link. Automatically will connect to the central repository. Everyone understood this flow? Everyone understood? Okay. Fine. So this is how this will take place. Okay, very good. So yeah, all the people have understood this. Very good. Okay, those who are asking what is Maven, I cannot tell now what is Maven because already I covered this Maven from last few sessions. Watch my earlier recorded videos. I'm seeing that one or two people are asking what is Maven. So I what to tell what is Maven. Just watch my recorded videos, okay? See, before coming to my class, next time watch my earlier videos and come so that you will understand clearly. Because I cannot keep repeating. Okay? See, we are already in the middle of Maven and one person is asking what is Maven. What to tell actually. Just watch my recorded video. All right then. So now you understood how to download libraries are there, right? Now let us see what is this scope actually. What is this scope? We are seeing a scope here. Here in these three dependencies, we are seeing scope as test. Here we are seeing scope as runtime. What is this? Okay. Now for that we'll see a separate chapter now, which we are going to see. Maven dependency scopes. So what is Maven dependency? So first, this is a separate chapter. See, there are actually six dependency scopes in Maven. One is compile. Second one is provided. Third one is runtime. Fourth one is a test. Fifth one is system. And sixth one is import. Okay. So these are the six dependency scopes, Maven dependency scopes. Okay, one compile, provided, runtime, test, system, and import. If you see in our Maven projects, we have used this scope as test. So here this is the one scope. And in another dependency, also scope as runtime. Okay, this is another. See, scope is, so the dependencies that we specify in pom.xml, the dependency that is the scope determines. Okay, scope determines the dependencies that we specify in pom.xml will be used during which phase of project execution. Okay. So scope determines the dependencies that we specify in pom.xml. So there are three different phases. One is compilation. Next is the testing. That is unit testing. And this is runtime. That is runtime. That is running. So that means the dependencies that are specified with the scope. Okay. The dependencies that are specified with scope test will be used during unit testing phase. So the dependencies that are specified with runtime are used during the running phase. You can think like that. So that means, and what is compilation? Everything I'll tell you. Okay. Suppose you have a Java program. First you'll compile it, then you'll run it, right? So Java C is for compiling, Java C a.java and Java A. Now during compilation, so when Maven compiles, see, if Maven will do this for you, you don't need to type explicitly Java C. So Maven will do this for you. So when Maven compiles the Java files, okay, it will use dependencies required for compile time. Okay. Suppose I'll tell you, I have a.java. In a.java, I specify a third-party library, something like org.hibernate.star, something like this. Okay, a class A, and I'm using some Hibernate-related libraries. And I'm using some in my main method. I use some classes and methods related to Hibernate. I do like this. Now if this program has to get compiled means, this Hibernate packages also should be available to this. Otherwise, this program will not be compiled. That means where you will specify these Hibernate related packages, this will specify in pom.xml. So in pom.xml, whenever you are using Maven, in pom.xml, in the dependency section, here you'll add dependency. And here you specify group ID. And you'll specify this Hibernate group. Okay. Group ID. And here you'll specify artifact ID. And here the artifact is Hibernate core. These are third-party product. So artifact ID. And version, I'll use some Hibernate. There is some version like 5.something03, something like this. Okay. Version, I'll give like this. And then dependencies, I'll give like this. I'll close these dependencies. And also close this dependency. And then I'll specify scope as compile. I'll specify scope as compile. Now what will happen is, whenever your Maven is compiling this, so when Maven compiles a.java, it will also include Hibernate core jar. I mean Hibernate core, we can say project. We can say like this, Hibernate core project also during compilation. So that's why scope is compiled here. So otherwise, if this project is not included in this while compilation, you'll get a compile error for this because it will not recognize this package, where this package is available, which class it is available. So when you put scope as compile, now Maven will include these libraries part of this project. So this project will contain multiple libraries. Okay, this is an artifact ID. In this artifact ID, there will be multiple projects, multiple jars, right? So under this project, so all the jars will be included in this class during the compilation. Otherwise, this will not recognize. So this is what scope determines. See, here I put scope compile, so it is used in the compilation. Okay. So let me go one by one of these scopes. Let me copy here. Now you see. See, compile is, so the default scope is compile. That means even if you don't specify, scope in dependency section, the scope is considered to be default. The scope is considered to be default. That means even if I don't specify this scope explicitly, so that means this dependency scope is compiled. Even if I don't specify scope, so the default scope is compiled. Even if you don't specify scope in depend section, the scope is considered to be default. Sorry, the scope is considered to be compiled. Sorry. Okay. Now, so the libraries that are part of this dependency, where scope is compiled, okay, are used during compilation of the project. If you don't specify scope in dependency section, the scope is considered to be compiled. The libraries that are part of this dependency, okay, where scope is compiled, are used during compilation of the project. Okay, next, not only compilation of the project, so during the testing of the project, all these phases, compilation, testing, runtime. So testing of the project and running of the project. So for the scope compile, the libraries are used. That means now here I did not specify scope as compile. So now the libraries that are part of this project will be used during compilation of this program, also will be used during the running of this program, also will be used during the unit testing of this program. In all the phases, this libraries are used. This library is used. Otherwise, if there is no library, if this is not used, first of all, it will not compile. It will not compile because this package is not recognized. Okay. Then even it is not compiled means it will not run. It will not go testing everything. So first compilation should happen. So that is why. So that's why the libraries that are part of the compile scope will be used during all phases of the project. So compilation of the project, testing of the project, running of the project. So whatever is specified here, Hibernate core. So this will be used when compiling this A.Java, when running this A.Java, when unit testing this A.Java. Okay. Now let us take one more scope, which is called provided. Okay. The dependencies specified with the scope provided in pom.xml will be used during compilation and testing of the project, and not during running. And not during running of the project. Okay. So now you see, this is my Maven project. Maven project. In this, I have a.java, b.java. Okay. And now I have pom.xml. I have pom.xml. In that, I have dependency one with scope, dependency say x with the scope compile. Even if I don't specify the scope, by default, it will take its compile. And another dependency y with scope provided. Okay. Now x will be used. X will be used during compilation of. So now x will be used. X will be used during during compilation, testing, and running of a.java and b.java. Okay. So x will be used. X dependency will be used. Now y dependency will be used. Y will be used during compilation and testing, and not during running of a.java and b.java. Because y scope, the scope of dependency y is provided. I'll tell you one real example for this, so that you'll understand. For example, you remember in pom.xml, for advanced Java, we use servlet. I'll say dependency, and I'll say group ID, javax.servlet. Group ID. Then I'll say artifact ID. I'll say servlet API, artifact ID. And here I'll say version as some three version, something like this. And here I will put scope as provided. Scope as provided, and I'll close the dependency. Okay. Now I write some a.java. In this, I use packages like import java x.servlet.star, and I'll say class A extends HTTP servlet, something like this. And here I'll use public void do get or do post some. Okay, I'm not writing the complete method, just showing like this. Now what will happen is when a.java is compiled, this library is used. So this package is part of this project. Okay. So this package is part of this project. So when a.java is compiled, and tested, it will use servlet API project specified in dependency in pom.xml. See, dependency means it is nothing but these are the the project is dependent on these libraries. You can think like that, okay? So when Day.java is compiled and tested, we'll use Servlet API project library, Servlet API project or library specified in the dependency section of pom.xml. Okay. And the scope is provided. So for the scope provided, it will be used during compilation and testing. Then only this will be compiled successfully. Now during running, this is servlet code, right? This A.java is executed in the web server, like your Tomcat or something. During running, this A.java is executed in the web server Tomcat or something. Now Tomcat itself is having its own servlet libraries. Tomcat itself is having its own servlet libraries. Okay. So see, this A.java is compiled. Okay, this A.java is compiled. See, I'll tell you. So this A.java is compiled, and the compiled code is deployed in the Tomcat server. Ideally, you will not deploy the as it is close. You will package that to a war file, right? As a war file, and you will copy that in the Tomcat server. Now in the Tomcat server, this project is running. This is a web server. Now this web server itself is having its own servlet libraries. This is having its own servlet libraries. Now it doesn't need the library that has been used in this project. It doesn't need this. Okay. So this Tomcat server, while running this program, while running this A.java, so Tomcat server, while running A.java, does not need servlet libraries. Okay, that are included in project, because with its own libraries, it can run this A.java. So that is the reason when you specify scope as provided, this library is used only during the compilation and testing, but not during the running. That means this library is not imported to this server. I mean, this library will not be included in this project while running. So while running, Tomcat server will take care of this. So that's why if you put scope as provided, it will be used only during compilation and testing of the project and not during running of the project. So this library is not required during the running of the project. Because this library during the running of the project, Tomcat server, your web server is having this library already. So it doesn't depend on your project library. See, this library is the one which is part of your project, which you include in pom.xml. So Tomcat doesn't need this library. It will use its own library. So that's why if you put scope as provided, this library is not included in the war file that you copy to Tomcat. So that it will not use this library. It will use its own library. Everyone clear with this? What is provided? Very good. Yeah. So very good then. We'll stop here. So tomorrow we'll see the third scope runtime. The other remaining scopes we'll see tomorrow. Yeah, I'll upload these notes. Okay. I'll upload. Sorry, actually, I thought of uploading today that MOCKITO notes. I'll upload all these notes by tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow morning I'll upload all this. So for scope provided, what will happen is for scope provided. So for scope provided, this library. So this library will not be included. This library will not be included. Will not be included during war file creation. Ultimately, Maven only has to do packaging var, right? Var or jar it has to package and it has to copy. So this library will not be included during war file creation, and you will copy that war file to Tomcat. Now Tomcat will use its own servlet libraries to run this project. No. You need to use these libraries in the dependent section, and also you have to use import also in your class. Otherwise, your class cannot recognize which class, right? Import is compulsory. See, first you have to include the dependencies in your pom.xml. Then in your classes, you have to write import also. See, not required because Tomcat 8 and Tomcat 9 will support Servlet 3 libraries. Tomcat version, it depends on your Tomcat version. Okay. Yeah, Tomcat 10 also will support, yes. So when you specify scope as provided, now this library is not included while when you are copying this code to your Tomcat server, so the Tomcat server will load this library during running of this program. That's why you put scope as provided. But when you put scope as compile, the library also will be included in the server. So that's what you have to see here. Scope compile means it is used during compilation, testing, and running. Provided means only during compilation and testing. All right then. So tomorrow we will see. Thank you all. See you tomorrow. Yeah, thank you everyone. Yeah, till I tell the new time, we'll join at 8.